You are watching the National Invitation Tournament and postseason basketball. It's officially here tonight in Fairfax, Virginia. It's a first-round NIT battle featuring the Conference USA regular season champs, that's Liberty, and the 3 seed in this Auburn region, the George Mason Patriots. With the former Wake Forest All-American Randolph Childress, Kevin Fitzgerald with you. Let's take a look at our corner of this NIT bracket. You see the seeded teams in this Auburn region. Randolph, 32 teams. 3 wins gets you to Indianapolis. 5 will get you that NIT championship. Let's start with the Flames, a great 25-win season. They are led by the Conference Player of the Year, the versatile Zach Cleveland.
They are. Zach Cleveland comes into this game. He's nearly a triple-double, averaging 11 and 7 and 7 assists a game. So in the half court, he becomes their point guard. And again, this is a very experienced group. Liberty is 10-2 on the road, so they're coming here, but they need to make sure they control this game on the glass. He's a big part of that. Not turning basketball over. Needs to play strong if they want to come out and win. On the other side, he's going against Corey Mincy. And again, second team, all A-10, shooter. Comes out, he's got to get the ball out of his hands a little bit more, get the other guys involved. But if he gets it going, he can single-handedly take over this game. Battling a thumb injury there, but he's toughing it out, playing through it. Need a strong performance out of him. Again, survive in advance has already started here.
Postseason basketball, it's officially here. March Madness. Liberty, its second appearance in this NIT. Remember, it was in the NCAA tournament a season ago. For George Mason, they've been in this event 5 times previously. It's another fine year for the Patriots. They won the regular season title in the A-10 a year ago. This season, they win 23 games. We have got 2 really strong mid-major non-power conference programs going head-to-head today to officially kick off postseason basketball this week. Here we go. George Mason in the white. They earned the right to host this first-round game. Liberty in those road Navy uniforms. And so away we go. NIT is underway. This is Nick Ellington underneath. He's one of the bigs in the middle for George Mason. As you mentioned, they've got some size and perhaps a height, length, physicality advantage today. Instead, Corey Mincy fires that first 3 offline, and Colin Porter's going to push here for Liberty.
More importantly, Porter gets the rebound. The guards have got the rebound, help this front line out for the Liberty Flame. Giving up a lot of size and a lot of physicality there, and that's been the Achilles heel of this team, playing against physical lineups.
So this is Richie McKay's starting 5. We mentioned how versatile and valuable Cleveland is. Keep an eye out for number 4 in the Navy. That's Brett Decker. Their leading scorer, he averages 17 a game. Good sleight of hand that time by Ellington. And so this is how Tony Skinn counters. This is his starting 5. Mincy does lead the way. It's been the big man here, the 6'11", 5-man Riley Allensbach, who has led them in scoring and league play, misses that jump hook.
At that time, I thought has his size. He needs to turn and elevate over the smaller defenders inside. Don't play so much with his back to the basket.
Harper that time dishes it off to Cleveland, and he's got the first points of the night.
Key to the game, I think, for George Mason is, can they contain the dribble? They know they have to guard the 3-point line, but in order to do that, you've got to contain the basketball, keep the ball out of the paint, stay in front of your man in the basket. If you do that, you can close out and stay home with a lot of these shooters.
Meanwhile, the forte for this George Mason team, they've got some drivers, they got some guys that can attack the rim. They've got a good free throw rate, get there frequently. Mincy now 0 of 2 from distance. Cleveland clears it. This is Porter on the move. And you said it, this is a jump shooting team. Look at Cleveland on the attack, missed the finger roll.
Right now, Liberty's playing the game the way they want to play it. On the other end, Mincy settled for a couple of jump shots. Mason wants to get to the foul line.
Allensbach misses it at the rim. They do a good job of that, drawing fouls, getting to the free throw line. You talked about the prowess of this Liberty team. Top 20 in the nation in 3-point makes and percentage. Cleveland, a baseline cut.
Adjustment's going to have to be made on the ball screens. I expect to see George Mason switching a lot. Cleveland is an outstanding passer. Remember, he leads his team in assists. So if you help from that bottom weak side guy, he's cutting. It's going to be 2-on-1, and they're going to bunch of layups. They already got 2 layups at the rim already.
That's the first foul on Liberty. So there is the Conference USA Coach of the Year. It's another Coach of the Year award for the winningest head coach in program history. He's been the longtime successful boss of this Flames program. Just all he does is keep raising the bar year after year.
Kevin, he's one of the best coaches in college basketball. He's just found a place that he loves home. If I was an AD, I'd make him tell me no every time I was looking for a coach. I think he's that good.
Allen Spock draws the foul. Riley Allen Spock trying to complete the three-point play in a moment.
Great job there, just attacking the paint. Again, this is how you got to attack Liberty. Get inside, and again, use some of their own medicine. Cut from the weak side, but they have positional size with Long as a 6'5" point guard.
So Allen Spock, who averaged 15 a game in conference play, that actually led the team, has got the three-point play. Randolph, it feels like this should be a competitive, compelling game to kick off this tournament. You had 2 teams with similar numbers. They had similarly successful years. This should be competitive. Baseline drive, kick it back out. This is Porter for 3.
And as I said about switching, that's the problem with switching. Now Allen Spock's got to sit down and guard Porter. He gets beat off the dribble and forced rotation. Now you do that, you're chasing.
Underneath, Dola and Abayo just checked into the game, lost it, and he draws the foul. So that's a second team foul on Liberty. So by the way, there is the 43-year-old from the DMV. 3rd year as the boss here at his alma mater. Fastest coach to 50 wins. So here's what he's done in his 3 years. Tony Skinn, 3 20-win seasons. He's won 70% of his games. Last year, they were the regular season champs in the league. He has had a fine 3-year run as the boss at a place where he won a lot as a player.
Kevin, I was a fan of his before meeting him today. I'm a bigger fan now. I think he's a rising star. He's doing a great job here with a team that's not a ton of resources, and he's maximizing every opportunity he gets.
Savvy young coach. So that triple from Mincy makes it a 2-point game. Decker on the drive. He draws the foul. And this sophomore from Elizabethtown, Kentucky, gets to the free throw line. What a year it was for the sophomore.
Has a big decision to make here coming up. I can't imagine a team in the country that couldn't use a young man like Brett Decker. You're talking about 16 a game, but his split is 50, 48, and 83. And you look at that and you think a guy hadn't taken a lot of shots. He's made 111 threes. Yeah, it's over 3.5 a game. I mean, he's just lights out shooter. And I think everybody wants to have a player like that on their team. And we talked to Coach McKay today, and he's like, hey, I help him navigate the situation if he asks for my help.
He has got such great upside. Terrific jump shooter. That foul was on Mincy. So a couple of fouls back-to-back on the Patriots. Porter on the pull-up, left that short.
Mincy's going to stay in attack mode. Every time he touches it, he's putting his head down, looking to make something happen.
This is Allen Spock trying to stretch it offline on that triple. So Liberty, 3 out of 5 from the floor. They are a very rhythmic offense. Their forte has been what they have done on the offensive end this year. This is Decker, got it back. His 3 is good.
Can't lose concentration against Decker. Cleveland's with the basketball. He's always looking to find guys. He plays kind of that Draymond Green role for the Golden State Warriors, where in the half court, he is the point guard. Guards are looking to score.
Terrific defensive play by J.J. Harper. He blocks the Mincy shot. Liberty up 5 with a bit of a bounce in the early minutes. Decker trying to take his man off the bounce. He's got it here. Fires, missed it, and Mason clears it.
Too much space allowed to Decker. You've got to lock and trail on him. If you're not close enough to touch him, he's open in his eyes.
Postseason basketball outside of our nation's capital. This is Long on the drive. Jahari Long.
I think Jahari Long at 6'5" has the size advantage over any guard that the Flames put on him. I expect him to use his body, get in the lane, and finish like that or force rotation to get easy opportunities for his teammates. This is a big opportunity for him to kind of take control of this game.
We'll see a lot of him. Worth noting, Mason playing without one of their very reliable ball handlers and guards. Jamari Hill missing a 4th straight game with that ankle injury. So Mason a bit shorthanded in the backcourt. Cleveland a crossover, bounce it, Smith lost it, and so we're gonna come back the other way. Lead feed, Allen Spark, yeah, at the rim.
When you're switching sometimes at the top of the key, Allen Spark was guarding one of the guards. When the shot went up, he just sprinted to the rim.
Who played 6.5 minutes without a whistle, by the way, under this 16-minute mark, so they continue to play on, and Decker banks that one in. So that's 5 points for Decker.
Part of that, Kevin, is both of these teams have taken a step back on the defensive end of the floor. Much to their coaches.
Yeah. That's not something either coach particularly is comfortable with.
Not
They've
what they
had to
built
live
their
with.
programs on. These guys love to get after the defensive end of the floor. We'll get into that, some of the numbers a little later here, but right now this game's being paid like a pickup game pace.
Yeah. This is Porter, throws that one up, still free. Who wants it? Liberty had it for a moment, and it will stay here with the Flames. Just 3 on the timer. We are underway here, postseason hoops in the NIT.
Both big guys are having an impact. Cleveland with the baseline dunk there, and here coming on the other end, Allen Spark rim running and gets rewarded with the easy bunny. Liberty up 3.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2026 National Invitation Tournament is brought to you by Arby's. We have the meats. Back in Fairfax, Eagle Bank Arena. Game 1 of this NIT postseason hoops officially here. That's the Wake Forest All-American Randolph Childress Kevin Fitzgerald with you. So these teams, they find out their opponents Sunday evening. You got less than 48 hours to turn around and play this tournament. What's the mindset of both of these teams as they begin their postseason?
I think the first thing is you got to give these kids credit for wanting to play. Not everybody accepts this bid, so it's credit to the kids and their coaches and their staff to come out here and play. And they're competing at a high level right now. And it's not, you know, they're coming out, the effort's there, the intensity there. There's 3 seconds here, great execution coming out, just missed a shot. But these are the type of games where, again, you have the right type of players and the right mentality. Everybody, both shoot-arounds are enthusiastic, both coaches are fired up, honored to be here and be a part of something, and they're coming out and they're competing.
You know, Richie McKay used the phrase competitive stamina. He expects that to be at a very high level for this team. That was a nice putback that time for George Mason. And so Emmanuel Conga with his first basket.
Yeah, his guys are really disappointed. They were bumped out by Missouri State. Conzo Martin's group came out and bumped them in the first round of the Conference USA.
These were the regular season champs. That's a great cut. Xander Carter finishes. You know, they're a very rhythmic offense, motion, cutting. The assist rate is super high, and we're see that's on display here in the first few minutes.
It is, and Coach Skin and his group want to switch some, but they can't because they'll get exploited off the dribble. So Tony Skin's got to do it, try to change defense a little bit with this group.
This is Long. He misses the 3, and Carter down with the rebound. Another 25-win season for Liberty. They won the regular season title in Conference USA by 4 games. They boat raced the league, and then were toppled, though, that gut punch in the quarterfinal of the conference tournament last week. They are refocused. This is a group of many veterans, a lot of seniors and super seniors, and many of them that have played together for multiple years in this program. Here's one of them. This is Cleveland attacking the rim. He'll be at the free throw line when we come back. Meanwhile, for Tony Skin's team, remember this George Mason program, 20-year anniversary of some March madness and some magical March moments. We will relive them when we come back. That 2006 George Mason NCAA tournament run, it was one of the most memorable and iconic Cinderella runs in NCAA tournament history. And who was there all along the way? One of the starters and one of the key guys of that team, Tony Skinn, now the boss at his alma mater. They beat Michigan State, then North Carolina, Wichita State, before KOing this elite UConn team in an all-time Elite Eight game, by the way. There's the final score that beat them in overtime to go to the Final Four that season. It goes without saying, that George Mason run was one of the more iconic in that tournament's history.
It was, and not just that, everyone remembers that. I mean, if you're a mid-major program, that was the program you looked at. It was like, hey, they did that, we can do that. And that man right there you're looking at was a big part of that, and he's honored to be back coaching his alma mater.
He's got a better shoot game than his former head coach.
He does.
Tony Skinn, third-year boss now at George Mason. He's won 70% of his games. He and his staff, they have been, you were touching on it a few moments ago, they have been very tactful and savvy and clever with how they recruit out of the portal in this era. He's very understanding about player movement and really good players at this level, and nevertheless, they keep winning at a high rate, including last year when they won the regular season title.
Yeah, it was great to talk to him today because he said, Randolph, this is all I know.
Yeah.
Whereas if you look on the other side, Richie McKay, he's like, this is, this isn't what I love. I've just adjusted to the times that we're in. And it's funny to hear those coaches with two different perspectives, both being very successful in this time. Great scramble there by both teams. As you see, George Mason's trying to continue to attack the paint. They want the basketball to touch the paint either off the dribble or in the post.
Boy, that's some great action right there. And Decker with an easy one. That is 7 points already for the sophomore from Kentucky.
A lot of cutting, a lot of movement. This is a difficult team to defend. This is one of the more efficient offenses in all of college basketball. That's part of their identity. But you can't settle if you're George Mason. You've got to get in the paint. You got to attack. There are no shot blockers on the floor.
Well, so far, Liberty 7 out of 11 from the floor. They've assisted almost all of their makes to this point. This is Conga underneath, missed it. A close range look, could not convert. And so Carter's pushing the other way. Liberty quick into the front court. Porter steps into it, splashes a three. Timeout, George Mason. And the Flames have opened up a double-digit lead halfway through the first in Fairfax. Liberty's offense thriving right now.
A lot of cutting, a lot of movement, and you knew that when you guarded him. Again, we've talked about this. Everybody can pass, everybody can shoot. They spread you out so much. You've got to keep your head in the swivel. You got to see ball and man, and you've got to be help side right now. They're doing a lot of chasing, and they're giving up a lot of uncontested easy layups at the rim right now. And Tony Skinn has had enough of that. He's burned the time out and see if he can settle his group down. They've got to pick the intensity up, be a lot more physical at the point of attack on the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah, that's impressive. You see at the bottom, they have assisted on 7 of their 8 makes. That is an incredible rate. Masai Troutman, one of the senior starters, connects in the lane. So meanwhile, Mason, 33% shooting from the floor. Plus they have missed all their attempts from deep. They are not quite as prolific as a jump shooting team as Liberty. This is Harper on the interior, falls, fades, missed it short.
This is where they need to be more aggressive. Get more downhill in transition.
And that has been a strength of this team. Long misfires. So Randolph, they're now 0 of 5 from distance.
You need to take threes when they're there and when they're open in the flow of the offense. There's no need to force it. Again, the length that they have, this is a bigger, more athletic team.
So while we have a quick moment, let's remind you that for a 6th straight year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. Go to ncaa.com for more information. The first 4 on the women's side, that begins tomorrow. First, second round action begins Friday. March Madness, postseason ball, it's here.
It is definitely here.
It's good to kick things off here in Fairfax. You got 32 teams here in this NIT that want to make their own postseason run. That is Harper underneath.
You got to know if you're George Mason, you turn your head, someone's cutting. You get too aggressive, they're cutting. Stay between your basket, ball and basket, the key.
The Flames, they have had the upper hand in the early minutes of this game. That's a reach-in foul on Liberty, and so that's the 5th team foul.
Coach Skinner, at some point, I think he's going to put his 5 best defenders on the floor, and he's going to let his guys figure it out. I mean, he's doing a lot of chasing right now. He knows he has guys that are limited in space, but right now, when Liberty's playing the way they're playing,
they got off to the 21-3 start to begin the year. George Mason did. Dealt with some injuries to key players down the stretch of the season. Wound up finishing 2-6, and then got bumped out in their first game of the A-10 tournament in Pittsburgh last week. This is Cleveland to the basket. That one might have been tipped. After the miss, Long has it. He has been their reliable, steady point guard.
Yeah, this team would be in a world of hurt without him. He's just been Tony Skin's captain. He's been his assistant coach on the floor, essentially.
That's a foul on Harper, and so Alan Spock is at the free throw line trying to cut into this 10-point hole on the other side. This is our Auburn region. These are the seeded teams in this corner of the bracket. Only the top 4 teams in each region are seeded, and that means they host a first-round game in this tournament, maybe more if you keep advancing. Here are some of the players to watch in our region. Tahad Pettiford is the very athletic, versatile point guard for Auburn. They play later today at 10 Eastern right here on ESPN2.
Number 1 seed there for a team that probably had the toughest schedule in all of college basketball last year. The Auburn Tigers.
Auburn, one of just the 4 power conference teams in this tournament. You know, you mentioned it earlier tonight. You've got a couple of teams here in George Mason, finished top 5 in the Atlantic 10, and Liberty that won the regular season championship in Conference USA. These are rosters that want to be here. They want to keep playing. They want to keep advancing.
Right.
3 wins gets you to Indianapolis. A 4th and a 5th gets you a championship. You get to close out. For a lot of these guys, this is their last run.
It is. It's the last time they'll play in a competitive game. And we talked to Coach McKay about that. Some of his guys were like, hey, we're going to graduate and we're going to go right in the working world. They had no ambitions of playing professionally, which is why they wanted to play.
Yep.
How about what he does in his group? You're talking about a team with 4 four-year guys, and he has 3 guys that have been here for 3 years. I mean, that's outside of the Ivy League, that's unheard of to have 7 guys at least 3 years or more.
And here is one of them. This is Zach Cleveland, the senior from Bloomington, Illinois. 1,000-point scorer, 4th year at the program, and you see those numbers. He leads this team in just about every single statistical category, and he is very, very worthy of winning Conference USA's Player of the Year honor. He's got his team up 10 here inside this building.
But again, as I talked about, this team is 10-2 on the road now. This is a veteran group, their experience.
Just going to say, do you attribute that to just the experience of this group? This is Cleveland again. He's drawn a couple of whistles early on.
They know how to play, and again, they're not going to get rattled. They've been in every situation. And right now, they're dictating the pace of this game, and George Mason is just chasing everything they're doing. They can't take advantage of the size they have inside. And there you had Porter in the post. Offensively, you don't move your feet. You let Porter swim around you and still get the steal. Now they're out in transition.
That was an easy steal. So there's Coach McKay. His team has just had the upper hand in just about every category. This is his 13th total year as the boss in Lynchburg. Between the 2 stints, Tony Bennett's associate head coach at Virginia.
2 great coaches, and again, recently retired Tony Bennett. Those 2 guys were together. They did some great things, and Richie McKay is here, and again, one of the best coaches in all of college athletics. And like I told you before, he's a guy that he's here because he just loves the place. Doesn't have any plans of going anywhere else, but again, he would be a guy I'd make him say no every time I was looking for a coach.
Yeah.
His phone would ring.
Highly successful long-time boss. After that Mincy bucket, back to single digits, or is it? That is a difficult reverse for Xander Carter. The freshman has got 4 off the bench in this first half.
Defensively, George Mason is just not there right now here early in this game. You're so spread out because you're worried about them shooting, but they're not staying in front of the basketball. They're not protecting the rim. They're not helping each other. And if they don't get this thing figured out quickly, this could get ugly. I mean, look at the baseline drive there.
That's a blow-by.
Yeah. Conga's just standing there, and he's a really good shot blocker, but he's stuck in between. He's been burnt on the cut, coming down the slot every time. And you got to do something. You can't stand there and watch right now, and if you do, you're going to get embarrassed.
And if anything, Liberty, they've been more effective in 2-point range or just near the rim in this first half. So half their points in the paint. They've also hit 3 triples. Carter again. Sealed off his man, and this freshman from Greenup, Kentucky, who averages 3 points a game off the bench, he's got 6 in the first half.
Look at the difference on the defensive end of the floor. Cleveland is looking where he's making Mason run their offense. You got to get the ball out of his hands in the middle of the floor, because now you can dictate a help side.
That's a long two that Liberty forces Mincy into taking. Back on the move again. Yeah, Cleveland can initiate the offense. It's a great distributor.
See, he's whipping the ball from one side to the next, so now you're hugging on the weak side, and you're not stopping the basketball.
Decker goes up quick and scores. Well, everybody making an impact in the first half for the Flames. They've got a 15-point lead. Allen Spock missed the three. It's another one-and-done possession. Liberty on the move.
And right now, they're settling for threes. They're playing this game the way the Flames want to play.
Decker, no. What's got to happen on this end of the floor for George Mason?
Well, first, it's got to start at the defensive end of the floor. They're not playing with any level of physicality. It's too easy inside. Get the ball in the paint, be physical. There are no shot blockers. There's no reason to pump fake. You go up through his nose, and you finish.
Conga, second chance. Just nothing falling right now for George Mason.
Until shots start falling. You got to get some, usually on the defensive end of the floor, let's get some stops, let's rebound, maybe some turnovers. Get out in transition. Let's start our offense from our defense. But right now, they're just chasing.
And look at that at the bottom. That is a stark contrast in field goal percentage. Porter, a step back. That was a difficult one. Good contest from Conga. Cleveland nearly tapped it back in. This is Corey Mincy again.
There was a size advantage inside. Mincy missed it.
Allen Spock, whip it back out. Long, hits a three. Their first of the night.
And it came from the ball being in the post. And Allen Spock had an advantage. Spotted Long on the weak side, wide open before the double team came and knocked down that first three. I think that's the way they got to start knocking shots down. Get it in the post first.
Timeout Liberty. First round action of the NIT. Couple of schools that are just a couple of hours apart. They're meeting this first round battle in Fairfax, and Liberty is on top. A great start for the Flames.
True indeed, but I tell you what, if George Mason doesn't get any stops, as you can see now, they're trying to go 1-3-1 just to disrupt this rhythm. I think they got to get Cleveland out of the middle of the paint. I mean, it's the middle of the lane. He's in that slot, and it's hard to decide whether it's weak side or strong side.
So that time George Mason does force the miss. They get the stop. The key is, can they get a few here?
Yeah, the first time they kept the basketball out of the middle of the floor. And a 1-3-1 helps you with that. Let's see if he goes back to it.
Yeah, that was an important tactical move. Long dials up the triple. And that one was offline. They get a second look.
If you're going to take shots like that, you've got to get it on the offensive glass. I think they got to pound the glass as well.
Mincy dropping inside. Conga turns. Well, he has missed a couple close range. And they're good looks. Conga can't convert.
Yeah, you keep plugging away. If you keep your head up and you defend, those shots will start to fall. You've missed 3 or 4 of those shots already here in the first half.
It's the only way George Mason can get back in it. Boy, Conga is guarding Cleveland. Kick it back out. Yates for 3, offline. New 20 though. Carter secured the offensive board.
Now
Cleveland.
They're in cross matchups again.
A rare miss at the rim for Zach Cleveland. So George Mason with a couple of consecutive stops that time. Long chiseling in. Underneath, goes up with the left, finishes.
Kevin, he is a 6'5" point guard. Whenever he gets to that spot, I think he can Barkley put the guards of Liberty on his hip and get in the paint whenever he wants.
He's got good positional size at 6'5". So back to a 10-point game. 1:05 to play in this first half. There's a steal. Mincy read that pass. He's pushing. Mincy into the paint. Corey Mincy goes up. No whistle. Alan Spark fighting. Knocked away. And we got a whistle. Alan Spark is fouled. That's the 17th foul on Liberty, so he goes to the line for a 1-and-1. Try to get this back to single digits.
Yeah, Alan Spark's doing his part, and he's keeping them active here. He already has 7 points. And again, going to the offensive glass, that's where they have an advantage. When the shot goes up for them, that's where the game needs to start on both ends of the floor. Limit Liberty to 1 shot on the offensive end, crash the glass.
So coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship, it continues on CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. For tournament game times and networks, go to ncaa.com. The madness is here. And the first game of our postseason college hoops right here in Fairfax. NIT is underway. Women's championship gets started tomorrow. Bracket time, 50 seconds to go. It's back to an 8-point game after Alan Spark's free throws. Liberty, meanwhile, has not scored in 4 minutes. So their first drought of the evening. Look who's open. Decker lines it up. Decker missed. You got a couple of Navy jerseys crashing hard, and Smith puts it back in.
Again, they're hurting you on the glass because you're so spread out, you're chasing, and again, you got to make Cleveland a scorer. When he drives in there, make him finish. He is looking to kick it out to these shooters.
And Mason has got to address that in the locker. Liberty is one of the worst rebounding teams in the nation, and they've actually controlled the glass. They're +3 on boards. Long inside, floats it up, missed it. Got 2 seconds. Cleveland gonna let it fly. 60 feet. That one looked on target. After the miss, though, Liberty takes a 10-point lead into the break. Cleveland with 7 points, 5 boards, 4 assists. This is the normal day for him.
Just another day at the office. He's a walking triple-double, and he's on pace to have one here.
Liberty is the 10-point lead. This round 1 battle of the NIT. We'll go up to Bristol now. This is Sean Farnham and Seth Greenberg along with Kevin Connors. KC, go ahead. Invitation Tournament, first round action, postseason ball. It's back this week. Liberty shot 52% from the field in that first half. Really good offense. They have a 10-point lead over George Mason and Fairfax. That's Randolph Childress, Kevin Fitzgerald with you. Liberty got off to a really strong start, led by double digits for portions of that first half. What stood out?
They've controlled this game on the offensive end of the floor with their movement, and Zach Cleveland has been a big part of that again. He's controlling this game right there in the middle of the floor. He gets the easy cut and layup, but again, he's their leading assist guy. He gets everyone involved. You got to make him a scorer. You're standing in no man's land, giving him 5 feet of space. He's too crafty for that. And when he's not scoring, he's doing a really good job of holding his ground, defending and rebounding. He's completely taken over this game right now. And again, I think George Mason's got to come out this second half with a level of physicality if they want to get back into this game.
You know, it's amazing. He's made 1 field goal.
Yes.
And yet the way he plays, he can still take over and dictate how games unfold. And so you look at some of these first half numbers. Here he is. He's an initiator.
Kevin, I think it's a teaching tape of how you tell guys, hey, you want to impact winning without scoring. This is the guy you watch.
Now that said, he's gotten to the free throw line a whole bunch. Most of his points at the line. This is Porter for 3. Hit one of the early triples right out of the chute to begin the game. After that one was deflected out of bounds, Liberty's going to get a new 20.
And that's a rebound George Mason has to have. You switch, you got Allensbach out guarding the three-point line, and then you don't get the the defensive rebound. Finish possessions.
Liberty, the Conference USA regular season champs, coming into this thing with a lot of momentum. That 3 is good. Josh Smith buries the corner J.
It's just a vision again. I mean, great drive, help was there. These guys know, keep your spacing. They're disciplined in their spacing. George Mason, you've got to contain the basketball.
Wow,
here.
a mistake. It leads to the Harper slam. Just like that, 5-0 right out of the gate.
Tony Skinn isn't very happy with his group. You're talking about turnover half. 3 guys never cross half court. This isn't a Tony Skinn type of team. I mean, they fight, they claw, they're physical. They're anything but that so far in the first 22 minutes of this game.
On that sideline, he's a little angsty, a little antsy right now. Mitzi, drive it, kick it, long, hits the 3.
They would be in a world of hurt without him.
He's got 10 now on 4 of 9 shooting. Long's got the only 2 threes for Mason tonight. Decker lines one up, missed it. Long splits a pair into the paint, and it rolls through. A dramatic bucket. But Jahari Long now with 12, right at his season average.
You can see he's playing with the level of desperation, like, hey, I want to continue to play. I don't want my season to end here.
And George Mason as a team is going to have to embody a whole lot of that, playing from behind for the entirety of this game. Porter with a crossover right into the paint. He's got the bigger Conga on him. Boy, he is overwhelmed by Conga. 2 to shoot. Porter, does he recognize? Porter front rimmed it. That was on target, but just a little short.
Even that play, I think Conga's got to try to deny the basketball to him.
Long gets fouled. Boy, what you have seen from Jahari Long today is a microcosm of what has been the case for most of this season.
Look at the easy penetration there and kick to the corner. But you start to have here the turnover. Watch the effort after the turnover. If you don't run back, that's the frustrating part right now, is then again, the effort's got to be there. This game is just a lot of basketball left to play. The lead is already under 10.
You mentioned it, that desperation, it's got to shine here. So Jahari Long, the 6th-year senior from Houston. Tony Skinn coached him when he was an assistant on Kevin Willard's staff at Seton Hall, and then Maryland a couple of years later. And so when Long went into the portal, Skinn went after him. So they have been without one of their starting guards from a year ago. Braden O'Connor all season was lost for the year due to an injury. They've been without Jamari Hill in recent weeks. And so they have leaned heavily on Long. That's a foul on Mason. And so he has been a warrior for them. Jahari Long has been. For Conga, that's his first foul.
These guys kind of bumped heads there. See there, runs into JJ. Those guys. Let's hope both of them, he and JJ Harper, are okay.
Might have been the right hand right into Harper's right eye, so everybody looks okay. George Mason trying to tighten this one up inside their building. First round battle, NIT. Porter's got the big man Conga on him. Porter, great feed. Smith, a throwdown, and the foul. A sledgehammer from Josh Smith.
And this is the dilemma you have with Liberty. Weak side, you've been talking all week long about getting in weak side. You're 1 second late, and Josh Smith puts the entire front line of George Mason on a poster.
Second foul on Conga, and Smith completes the three-point play. So McKay has gotten great contributions from Smith and Carter off the bench. Carter's got 10 points. That layup is a good answer. That's long. Gets it back to a 9-point game.
He's going to have his way. Again, he can create for himself and everyone else. And his ability to create off the bounce right now, with the lane spread open, is favoring George Mason right now on the offensive end of the floor. It's the only offense they have.
Decker swings into the paint, blocked. That was Conga. Smith cleaned it up. It's a dozen for the sixth-year senior from Monrovia, Indiana. It's well above his season average. And this is long again, just put it in his hands. Feeds to Conga, and he's fouled.
Long is spending a lot of energy right now creating for everyone. Look at this drive, great block there, but you don't clean it up. Smith is the weak side cut. They're slot cutting from the ball. When the ball is driven in the baseline, they're cutting from the slot on the weak side. And it's either the layup has been there, and in that case, it's been the offensive rebound.
Just that movement, and that savvy, clever play on this offensive end is a main reason why Liberty has had this double-digit lead for now a good chunk of the game. They haven't trailed at any point. They came out firing, scored the first few points of the game. Conga, a little better than 50% at the line, does get 1 out of 2.
Right now, George Mason, get physical, engage the basketball now. They're slow to match up right now. It's almost as if they're confused. Put a body on a body and stay in front of the ball.
Harper fouled. J.J. Harper heads to the free throw line to extend this Liberty lead. When we return, the Flames back up by double digits.
she's physical.
March Madness begins March 18th.
Get your popcorn ready.
She's strong, she's physical.
March Madness begins March 18th on ABC, ESPN, and streaming on the ESPN app.
The NCAA Women's Tournament First Four. It begins tomorrow, 7 Eastern on ESPN2 and also on the app. Richmond and Nebraska, our first game. And then Stephen F. Austin and Missouri State battle at 9 Eastern. March Madness is here. Postseason hoops. We're going to march all the way to Indianapolis on the men's side for both the NCAA tournament and the NIT. Meanwhile, on the women's side, Final Four in Phoenix this year. You've got Liberty at the line. J.J. Harper at the free throw line. Hits the first. So these Liberty Flames, Lynchburg, Virginia. Couple-hour drive from where we are here, Fairfax. Richie McKay guided this program to its only NCAA tournament win. That was back in 2019. They beat Mississippi State. Most notable alumni, Malik Willis, I think, is the talk of the town these days. Just signed that big deal with the Miami Dolphins.
Yes,
he did. 7-year vet in the NFL. So you got Liberty, largest private school in the state of Virginia, against George Mason, largest public school in the state of Virginia. There's an aggressive drive from Masai Troutman. And one was knocked out of bounds. New 20 here for the Patriots.
George Mason just continue to get downhill, get to the rim, good things will happen.
Mincy has that pass taken away. Boy, Harper. That was like a defensive lineman at the line there. Just quick reflexes. Intercepts the pass.
And that's J.J. Harper's role in this team. He's a Conference USA all-defensive team.
Look at Cleveland going to work. Difficult one. Was trying to turn back over the left shoulder.
You want to make him a scorer. Make him look to score.
Mincy missed it. But a tough shooting day for Mincy. Another look. Floats it up and in. Corey Mincy with his first bucket here in the second half.
His confidence won't be shaken at all. Corey Mincy is going to stay in attack mode.
Decker puts it up. Missed the three. Well, for Mason, we've seen Long score 9 points in the second half. He's got 9 of his team's 12. And if Mincy can come alive, that would help. Long chucks it in, and it is a three.
He's feeling it now. He's got it going this second half. George Mason's making a push.
Closest they've been in a while. They're back within 7 inside their own building. A couple of players go down, middle of the floor, and that's going to be a foul on Mason. It was Mincy and Smith who got tangled.
Mason is switching every ball screen now, so when you're a guard inside, you've got to get low and battle. By the time Mincy got a little too physical, got whistled for the foul, but you don't mind that. That's showing your guys are fighting, and that's the effort and intensity it's going to be needed if you want to get back in control of this game.
And that had to have been addressed in the locker room halftime. This is Decker getting free, cutting inside. Decker floats it in.
It's just showing you he's just much more than a catch and shoot guy. He's comfortable putting it on the deck.
Long, by the way, perfect timing. He's going back to the free throw line. He has scored 12 of George Mason's 15 second half points. Jahari Long, the veteran from Houston.
Concern you got to have for George Mason is just fatigue. Can he keep this up?
Well, he's been playing, what, 35 minutes a game in league play for Tony Skinn. This is someone who is 1 season removed from an ACL tear.
He's had 2 in his career.
Gets 1 out of 2. And this coaching staff, they really are, they laud and rave what Long has been able to accomplish this year, just based on the usage and the volume and what they have been asking him to do. Cleveland kick it to the corner. Smith lines it up. Smith knocks in a three.
Got to guard a man and a half right now. You got to be in constant rotation. Because when they switch, they get beat off the bounce, and when they rotate, somebody's got to help the helper.
Liberty continues to shoot better than 50% from the floor. You know, on the year, they're 4th in the nation in field goal and three-point percentage. Just elite numbers. Long answers. Boy, he is dialed in, just pouring it in this second half. 13 of his 20 coming in the first 7 minutes of this second. That pass was kicked. Shot clock resets to 20. Boy, where would they be without what Long has done? They're down 8 even still. Pardon me, that's now 23 for Jahari Long.
Where's the other offense going to come from?
Yep.
Where Mincy get going. Where Allen Spark get going.
Boy, you can't be a step slow on Decker. Missed it at the rim. Smith, who's playing a terrific game, had it for a moment before it was jarred free. This is Mincy, lost it. And so Liberty serves up a poke away. Who's cutting? Porter has it and now starts to initiate. Porter, a drive underneath. Gets it back. He can hit it. The three is pure.
Problem they've had all game long. Just inability to stop the basketball. They're down in the ball screen to try to put it, the ice to try to pin it on one side of the floor. That's on the Allen spot. You got to stop the basketball. You can't let him turn the corner.
Long, a step back. That's a difficult one. And Smith with the rebound. That's now 15 points and 6 boards for Josh Smith off the bench. Only plays 10, 15 minutes a game. Oh, he was trying to rip the rim down. Boy, Porter gave him a chance. He had a clear layup. And then we got a whistle. That's a foul on Cleveland. So Mincy is in some discomfort getting up. I thought I noticed our official swivel and swing that right finger to say, we're going to go take a look to see if there was any unnecessary contact here. Mincy is a little slow getting up and going to the bench.
Again, Mason is fortunate enough. This wasn't another poster. Josh Smith gets to the rim with that weak side cut. And on the other end, Cleveland's just trying to slow things down.
The previous play is under review for a possible flagrant 1 foul.
Introducing SportsCenter for you, personalized every single day. Now available on the ESPN app. Powered by your favorites.
So this is our next NBA Wednesday doubleheader. The Celtics host the Warriors at 7 Eastern tomorrow. Then it's Luka and the Lakers and KD and the Rockets. That's a great one afterward at 9:30. NBA Countdown crew tips off coverage at 6:30 Eastern. Watch this latest play before our last time out. That was Zach Cleveland reaching in there, winds up fouling Corey Mincy. So, Randolph, our officials have informed us they upgraded this to a flagrant one. They interpreted that as Cleveland not making a play on the ball, which is grounds for a flagrant one.
I thought his left hand was swiped at the basketball. He just didn't hit any of it, and there was a lot of contact, obviously, and with Mincy going down, it adds to it. So
I agree with you. I definitely understand their interpretation. I didn't think it in the moment.
No, I didn't either.
I'll put it that way.
I still didn't think it as much in the replay, but I understand the ruling of it at game time. I just thought they may have adjusted the call as when they went to replay. I thought his left hand made a swipe to try to go after him.
George Mason gets one back there. Dump it inside. Allen Spock blocked. Allen Spock couldn't finish, but Troutman can. Boy, that would have been a brilliant Liberty defensive sequence, by the way. They just couldn't clean up that third look.
Mason looks like they're rushing to finish at the rim. And again, I don't understand why they're rushing. There's no shot blocker there.
Decker, that is a pretty finish. Well, just so quickly how their plays, cuts, and sets develop. So for Brett Decker, their leading scorer, he's got 13.
He's a good player. I mean, he's a good-looking player. Good size, good body. Really efficient.
And Randolph, just a sophomore. He broke out this year totally. That's a foul. Troutman's going to the free throw line. And so if I gather, if I'm picking up what you're putting down, there will be a market for Decker.
Yeah. That
this
already started. I mean, when Richie McKay and I are sitting there talking about it as shoot around, and I think we all can acknowledge there in today's landscape, that young man will have a lot of decisions to make.
Both coaches, I think that's why they have had success at their respective levels. By the way, that's the fourth foul on Harper, so he will sit. Smith comes back on. We've talked about Skin's early success as a first-time head coach. Richie McKay he is an extremely respected coach, winningest in Liberty history, and just being able to handle this current state where I think both coaches have an understanding about players that perform at a very high level at this level. You never know what can happen, and you must be ready to adjust and evolve every offseason, and they've been terrific at doing that.
Well, I think the harder adjustment is for Richie McKay because, again, he has to adjust at it.
Oh, how about Smith? What a game for Josh Smith.
He's inserted in the starting lineup with Matheny out with the calf injury, and he has just been all over the place. Active, playing above the rim here, screen, catches in the middle floor, and that middle ball screen is giving George Mason so much trouble. They hadn't had any defense for it. They don't want to switch it. And when you got a good guard that can give you deliver that pocket pass, your weak side really has to be connected and pulled in.
Ball back to Mason. It's a great point because we have not seen the starter and double-figure scorer Matheny yet today. He was dealing with that calf injury. There he is. He's second on the team in scoring. And so you insert Smith and he's ready to go. I want you to go back to that point on McKay, though. Just what have you observed and how he has excelled at Liberty in this climate?
One, he's been dominant because his team has been one of the better defensive teams in all of college basketball. We're talking about, I mean, I'm going to read you his numbers from 2018 now. They've ranked 19th, 6th, 2nd, 3rd, 31st, 8th, 19th, and 11th. And that's from 2019 to 2025. His defensive point allowed. This year they've slipped. They're 82nd, and I think it's the only reason they're not in the NCAA. This is more of an efficient offensive team, not a great defensive team, even though that's a great defensive possession.
Yeah, perfect timing.
Yeah.
They have held George Mason, by the way, to just 37% shooting in this ball game. Mason has been a bit more productive in the second half, yet it is still down 11. Four-time conference coach of the year. Look, all he does is deliver conference championships to this university.
He's one of those coaches, Kevin, that when you get him at a mid-major level and he doesn't want to leave, that just doesn't happen either in this climate. Most guys would move on to a higher level of a high major job, and he just loves where he is. That school's special, and it's a fit for him. And Liberty's lucky to have him.
Mincy, drive it, kick it, Booker, offline. Well, he said it to us earlier. We got everything we need to win in Lynchburg. Carter on the attack. He missed it. Obviously, the university, there's great support financially, really in all of the athletic programs at Liberty. Sivka offline on the three. This is Conga fighting hard, and he finishes plus the foul. Mason needs this boost. He's at the line to get it back to an 8-point game.
George Mason just attacks the offensive glass. I think they'll win a higher percentage of loose basketballs there. And Conga, again, has the advantage, uses his length and athleticism, and he is a big-time rebounder. They've got shots at the rim. They just haven't been unable to finish it.
The 6'9" rookie from Gabon. Had a really good high school career here in the DMV. Was at Mount Zion Prep. And so it's back to an 8-point game. Randolph, you have highlighted it. They have that. They have the physicality. They have the size advantage inside. Can they capitalize on that? Porter can't leave him open. Offline of the three. New 20 before the takeaway. Mincy's got his head up. Mincy's got Porter on his hip. Pushes it up and in.
Good defensive possession there last time with a 1-3-1. Now they're back to their man-to-man as the crowd's starting to get into it.
Decker, a blow-by and a throwdown. Brett Decker trying to silence everyone.
Wow. Brett Decker, I apologize for just calling you a shooter. You are a bucket, a scorer. How do you want it?
He's got 15. 8-point lead for Liberty. Mincy, a step back, puts it in.
That's what you want to see. Get Corey Mincy going. Jahari Long has carried you earlier.
Oh, Mincy trying to take it away. Do we have a tie-up? Is he going to get a timeout? Boy, Decker thought he had tied him up and then stopped. So it's a straight steal for Mason. Chance to get it back to single digits, or a one-possession game right here. Mincy feeling it, crossovers. Mincy throws it up, and that's a foul on Liberty. Mason goes to the free throw line. When we return, the closest they've been in a long time.
Deckers, look at this reject of the ball screen, going up to the rim, challenging at the rim. But on the other end, not to be denied, Corey Mincy knocking down a three, pulling Mason within 5.
First round action in Fairfax, Virginia. Postseason college hoops on the George Mason campus. And now that their team is back in it, this crowd is re-fired up once again. You got a couple of programs that want to keep their really successful seasons going. Right now, Liberty has the lead over George Mason in the second half. Winner of this game faces Nevada or Murray State in the second round. And so after trailing by as many as 15 in the first half and down double figures at the break, here's George Mason back within 5. How did they do it at points in this half?
They junked the game up a little bit. I mean, one, they're relying on the offensive end. As we talked about it, Jahari Long kept him going. Now Corey Mincy's starting to heat up. He's scoring. He's diving on the floor, getting steals. They're attacking the offensive glass. They're being disruptive now with the rhythm on the offense for Liberty. It's allowing them to get stops and get out.
Conga's got a chance with this next free throw to get it back to a one-possession game. Now you saw the offensive numbers, just shooting much better than in the first half. So here's a 55% free throw shooter. Hey, it's getting closer to crunch time. Conga's saying, I'm dialing in. And a little full court heat.
And extending their pressure, they're gonna run back. And they're in their zone. You gotta know where the shooters are right now.
Cleveland, he's the clever point forward. Cleveland inside, it's a reach-in foul. And they whistle Conga, or pardon me, Booker, for his third foul.
And that's what's so smart about the veteran group. I mean, Zach Cleveland there knows he has the mismatch. He's just patient. If you help off the weak side, he's looking to throw it. They're identified to cutting that time, and I like the matchup though. I would continue to make Cleveland a score.
Cleveland jump hook, bounces out. Smith, relentless, fouled.
What a game.
He has been the X factor today in this postseason battle. That foul's on Conga. Smith, the sixth-year senior, determined to keep his career going, goes to the line.
He is. He has 17 points. He averages 7 on the year. Inserted into the starting lineup, and some of that's ideal because of the length of the front line for George Mason.
He's been the reliable sixth man all season. As you pointed out, Matheny has not played today, so he gets the start. And for Smith, it's a 19-point game to lead all scorers.
And he provides a little above the rim action for Liberty as well. The ability to catch lobs. You've seen some of the finishes and the attempts that he's shown here this afternoon. And
Sivka getting hounded by Cleveland. He's got to give it up. Finally finds Mincy. Mincy's had a hot hand here for Mason. Mincy on the attack, and he gets bumped. So he will go to the free throw line for a 1-1. If that's on Porter, that's going to be his fourth.
They don't want to go deep into their bench, and now Mincy and Long and these guards for George Mason, they're starting to pin their ears back and get downhill. Coach McKay got a decision he has to make. And remember, they don't have Matheny. Third team all Conference USA. He has not stepped on the floor here nursing a calf injury. And
you think McKay is asking our officials to make sure that this foul was on Porter, I'm assuming?
I think he absolutely is. He wants to make sure maybe have the foul on someone else.
The previous play is under review.
So this is a unique one, Randolph. We just had one of our officials come over. They whistled Porter for the foul, and so Richie McKay has appealed.
Yes.
The key word is appealed to our officials to check to see who the foul was on. I don't know if they're going to change this.
I think you can see, watch the right arm of Decker. He reaches in with the right arm where there is contact. Watch the right arm, right coming into your screen right about now. Watch him come and grab. And there's contact there. It's a big call here.
I would think they're going to say the contact from Porter happened before the reach in. And if that's the case, that means it would be a 4th foul on Porter.
After review, the appeal by Liberty has been unsuccessful. They will be charged a timeout. Number 3 would be shooting 1-and-1, and the foul will be on 0 blue.
It's well done. That's Michael Lucky. He's the crew chief tonight. The Luckies know how to officiate, by the way. His brother, Jamie, a longtime official in the college game as well. They know what they're doing. So that is that. You underscore the importance of that big time. There's 6:11 to play. Porter has been your very steady ball handler. You see a shot of Matheny. He's still got the warm-up on. He's been dealing with that calf injury. And look, we haven't seen him to this point. I don't know if he's playing or he's available.
Yeah, he hasn't taken the shirt off. Didn't do much warming up.
So it is going to be a 1-and-1. So that's good on Mincy to put the pressure on the lip. You have been asking that of these George Mason guards all day. They are beginning to do that. And Mincy, one of your go-to scorers, trying to get a pair at the line.
More importantly, they get to set their defense now. Do they press? Do they fall back man or zone? This is the way Mason wants to play. George Mason wants to get after you. Full court pressure. Now they're falling back. They're pointing out, they're communicating. Are they going to be in a 2-3? You spend time wasting the possession trying to identify it. Here it is, 14 seconds left, and you hadn't even started to play set yet.
Porter, a little hesitation, hoists it up. He draws a foul. It's on Sivka.
It's a really good defensive possession. Coach Skin got everything he wanted. Time trying to figure it out. And there's contact there on the arm. Even though it's a bad shot, watch the right arm here slap down after the shot. That's where the foul is.
Porter's a 92% free throw shooter, trying to get the second here and push this lead back to 2 scores. Take a look at the records. Liberty, Conference USA regular season champs, 25-7. Tony Skin's Mason squad, they won the A-10 a year ago.
Right.
23-win season this year. You got 2 good mid-major programs, 2 teams with great buy-in. They want to keep their seasons alive. And now it's a compelling first-round battle again, late in the second. Mincy on the attack. Knifes in. Mincy got it to go.
Mincy's feeling it, doing a great job of not settling. Again, touching the paint. Good things are happening right now for George Mason when they touch the paint. They're switching 5 here. Watch Porter on the isolation.
It's just Porter trying to go back to work on the big man. Mincy's on him. Feed it to Cleveland inside. 6 to shoot. Porter trying to take Sivka off the bounce. Porter underneath, missed it. The follow, it's Carter.
That's on a weak side guard. I know it's hard. You got a guy in the corner. They have been hurt repeatedly on that cut. It's either been for the offensive rebound or getting it from an assist. They've got to put a body on that cutter. Now Liberty with a little zone of theirs.
Long got free. Good contest from Cleveland. Second chance, and Booker. It's Devin Booker.
Got a 2-point game here. Both teams are struggling to finish defensive possessions with a rebound.
2-point game, 4 to play. Win or go home battle. Porter missed the 3. Conga secures it. So someone's season will continue tonight. The other is going home.
Great job by Adelsbach. That's not an easy assignment for a 6'11 guy to be switching on a 5'10 point guard, keeping them in front using your length.
Long with 23, attacks, gives it to Conga. He's got it! We are even at 65. Mason has climbed all the way back from down 15. Timeout Liberty. crunch time of this first round battle is coming up. Epic first round battle here. This has turned into a really compelling game. Liberty led by 10 at the break. Mason has climbed all the way back, and with 3:25 to play, we're even at 65. It started in the first half, Randolph. The Flames were super efficient on the offense.
A lot of ball movement, a lot of body movement. First half, 9 of their 13 baskets were assisted. In the second half, it's been a completely different. The guard play of George Mason's got things going. They've been able to control the glass. Remember, in the first half, they were getting out-rebounded. This second half, everybody's got it for all hands on deck right now. And your season's on the line. You got 3 minutes and 26 seconds left to survive and advance. Who wants it more right now?
This is it. It is win or go home. Postseason NIT basketball. George Mason has leaned on that terrific tandem of Jahari Long and Corey Mincy.
It's a much better job of communicating.
Decker underneath, could have drawn the foul, so he does ultimately draw the foul. Boy, passed that one out instead of taking the shot. However, he will be at the line for a 1-and-1. Our final timeout in Fairfax with 3:14 to play. Who is going to move on to the second round of the NIT? 65 up in Fairfax. Thank you, Kevin. We will get you there when this one finishes up. While we have a brief moment, let's remind you, the NCAA Women's Tournament First Four begins tomorrow at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. Catch it on the app. We got Richmond and Nebraska, then Stephen F. Austin and Missouri State coming up. In every single game of this tournament will be on our networks of ESPN. Go to ncaa.com for more information. The women's Final Four and championship in Phoenix this year. We are all square at 65 with 3:14 to play in Fairfax, Virginia. Both of these programs had very strong regular seasons. Both won 20-plus games. And both had a sour taste left in their mouths a week ago. They each got bounced early in their respective conference tournament games. It's two veteran, experienced squads. As we talk to both coaches in both programs, they are determined to play postseason basketball and play deep in this tournament.
Yeah, both teams were playing. You go back just 2-3 weeks ago, both teams were expecting, kind of cruising along, ambitious of playing in the NCAA tournament. Didn't play their best basketball down the stretch, and it cost them a trip. And they're out here tonight, they're competing.
After the free throws, Liberty by 2. You got 3 to shoot. This is Long, got to put it up. Long blocked, and Liberty secures the board. Jahari Long has been the go-to option for the Patriots today. 23 points, most of that in the second half. Meanwhile, for Liberty, we've gotten production from a lot of players, including this man, Decker, the sophomore from Kentucky, has got 17. And now he's got the mismatch. 6 to shoot. Sivka blows by him. Oh, rejected by Conga. Mason on the move. Mincy with a crossover. Mincy attacks, floats it up. Could not convert. We got a run out. And nothing there for Decker. Well, you got a couple of Flames that were cutting to the basket. Instead, they back it out with less than 2 to play and a lead.
Right now, I think you got to pressure the basketball with Zach Cleveland in the middle of the floor. You can't allow him to dictate action.
Decker blocked again. That time it was Booker. These two freshmen, Conga and Booker, with some key defensive plays to keep this just a 1-score deficit. Tony Skinn calls the timeout, and we will step aside as well for 30 seconds. George Mason with possession here, 1:40 to play. Randolph, their defense is keeping this one a 1-score game.
I mean, both teams right now showing you how bad they want it. Getting stops here. Smith with the block. And on the other end, comes over with weak side. Just blocks Decker's shot again, and it gets blocked the second time on a 3-point pull-up by Devin Booker. So the rim protection there, but both of these coaches, you expect their identity is on the defensive end of the floor. They're showing you how bad they want it. Right now, we're 1 minute and 40 seconds left. Let's see the execution here coming out of the timeout. And George Mason, I'm trying to get some action with my guards against spreading the floor, getting them downhill, and reminding my bigs, crash the paint. There's no shot blockers there. We've been +9 on the rebounding since the first half, and I think that's why they're back into this game.
That's been huge. You see, George Mason has never led. They fell behind very quickly after the opening tap, and they were down by double digits for a good chunk of this game, including by as many as 15. They climbed all the way back to even the score at 65. Liberty just hit a couple of free throws, so they have a 2-point edge. Crunch time, win or go home. First round of this NIT. Good way to start postseason hoops this week. Mincy's got it with 6. Mincy, a 3. Conga battling, and a foul on Liberty. It's on Schmidt, and the freshman is going to the free throw line with a chance to even the score.
That's what we talked about. Shot goes up. They're crashing hard. We knew one of the guards, Mincy, along would have it here, and see both guys get tied up. Watch the right arm there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Got away with one there. See the hook and hold.
Hey, that is something that you can. I think you could still do that in the final 2 minutes. You could appeal that, and so Conga gets away with one.
See the officials, one of the assistants just walking up, telling Richie McKay that he had the option of doing so.
Oh, wow. Conga, he hits them both. The freshman has got 12 points. He has been key. A double-double for Conga today. We're even at 67. Booker nearly knocked it away. Over to Cleveland. Goes up. Cleveland scores it.
Look at the strength. Goes in, takes the contact, hangs in the air. What a finish.
Less than a minute to play. The Flames are back in front.
Seems like George Mason is putting the ball in Corey Mincy's hand and allowing him to play. It's got to be him alone that makes the play. They don't have to make the shot, but they got to make the play.
Mincy passes up the 3, into the paint, blocked. Harper smothered him. Up ahead to Harper. He takes it in. Harper, a throwdown. Big time play. You got 33 seconds left. Mason's now down 2 scores. Long gets fouled. So he goes to the free throw line to shoot a pair.
Look at Cleveland going through, taking the contact and finishing there. He's letting them know. And here on the other end, J.J. Harper showing you why. He's Conference USA on the all-defensive team there with the play, getting out and the easy finish.
He has displayed the quick reflexes and instincts today in a number of different aspects during this game. So meanwhile, it's Long, who's got a 23-point game. This has been their go-to workhorse latter half of the season. And Long needs one more to get it back to a 2-point game. But now Randolph, the shot clock is off, and you got 28.6 to play.
You got to foul. Set your defense down. You want to try to deny.
Well, Conga falls down. So something, I did not notice what happened, but Conga falls, and he is reaching for his left eye, or making his right eye, pardon me. You got the athletic trainer, Rebecca Schmidt, out there to check on this freshman who has been so impactful today. 12 points, 10 boards, a key double-double in this winner-go-home postseason battle.
He's got 6 offensive rebounds, and he has been really active. See what happened to him.
Let's look and see.
The previous play is under
left
review.
side of the screen. Whoa, might have gotten hit in the throat.
Watch his ribs. I think it's like the wind. Watch him get hit up top. It's a weird incident there. I didn't see it. I still don't see it. It just looks like it's a pretty clean box out.
He just got sandwiched right there. And you hope that Conga is okay. So
Play will be resumed at the point of interruption. Liberty basketball, and they can run the end line.
When he walked off the floor, he was stretching the left arm. Conga's in discomfort.
Now what it does is allows George Mason now to set the defense. They want to deny. Try to get a 5-second count. Maybe you got plenty of time to get a quick trap.
You got time to gamble a bit and try for the steal. Down 2, 28.6. They foul immediately. Malik Presley puts Smith at the line.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Zach Cleveland, everyone else is a really good shooter. The next worst shooter is Josh Smith at 77%. Right touchdown. Not a lot of options to foul guys, but you're playing against the clock as well. So fouling so early allows you to stretch this out and put pressure on Liberty to make shots, make free throws here. You got 2 now.
Josh Smith inserted into the starting lineup today with Matheny out. He has been an X factor. The 6th-year senior from Monrovia, Indiana, now has a 20-point game, a season high for Smith in this postseason NIT battle. Puts his team back in front by 2 scores. You know, without Conga, he's been so key on the offensive glass. They're without a big body underneath there.
That's when you're going to need him most. Again, expect the guards here.
This is Mincy with 20. Over to Booker, back to Mincy. What's he gonna do? Step back, puts up the 3, bounces out. 12 seconds. Allensbach fouls Smith. They were looking for the 3. It went down and out for Mincy, and Smith will be at the line on the other end again.
It's a 4-possession game. The 3 is great, but you took too much time off the clock trying to get it. You didn't get it. Just go in and make the quick 2. Still had enough time to foul. There you can see they were defending the 3-point line well.
And they were looking for the 3 in that situation. And so Smith with 21, he's 6 out of 7 at the line today. Boy, this one almost went down.
And he's been really good here in the second half offensively, but got shot now, puts them down 6.
11.7. Yeah, you gotta shoot it. 11.7. Again, George Mason really up against it now. But if they do take the 3, they gotta get a shot up very quick. 10 seconds. Take it away. Harper up ahead. Corner, a throwdown to ice it. 5 seconds left now. Nothing that Mason does is gonna matter. Liberty gets the stops in crunch time. They close the game out on a 10-2 run. And it advances and is moving on to the second round of the NIT.
Liberty came out early and punched first. Give George Mason credit. They battled back, tied this game up. But Liberty had a little bit more left in the tank to close this one out as they move on and they wait on a winner from Murray State in Nevada.
Richie McKay's team was all even with Mason at 67 apiece. And in the final minutes, they go on a 10-2 run. Mason, of course, scores the last one at the horn there. But they made it. They made the big plays in crunch time. And as you mentioned, it now awaits the winner of that game tomorrow. Liberty's season, the Conference USA regular season champs, the 2-time defending league champs. They have got their sights on a championship, and their season continues. So that does it for us in Fairfax. For Randolph Childress and our entire crew, I'm Kevin Fitzgerald saying so long from this arena. With Sean Farnham and Seth Greenberg, here's Kevin Connors.